bartending. It's definitely exciting working as an alcohol therapist. I love what I do, and you're interested in hearing some bar stories. So let me show you a little of what it's like behind the bar, and maybe even inspire you to finally take that bartending class. So I'm the first one at the bar today, and I'll be showing you guys how I open the bar. Lights. All right, okay, we'll lower that a little bit. Perfect. And then we're gonna turn on the music, because what kind of bar doesn't have music? And since I'm here today, I'm the DJ. Turn on my dehydrator, so my lines are good and ready to go. Light on.
Xavier.
So the first thing that you can expect working at a bar is that it's a high pace and high pressure environment. So for me, working in New York City, it's kind of like riding a roller coaster at full speed ahead, all while juggling flaming batons sometimes. Music is often really loud because you're at a bar and everyone's there to have a good time. And then the customers are just waving and whistling, snapping their fingers at you. Your hands are constantly moving, washing glassware, washing cups, grabbing bottles, pouring drinks. The orders are coming in left and right, non-stop, and they're all different. Can I get 2 mojitos? Can I get a beer? Old fashioned, 3 shots of tequila, 1 gin and tonic, easy on the tonic, easy on the gin, whatever. It's your job to remember it all. Keep the orders straight, and above everything else, keep the drinks coming. In that environment, within all that noise, that music, and the sea of faces that's gonna be in front of you because you're the bartender, you're not just a bartender, you're like a memory wizard, a drink artist, even a crowd conductor, because again, you're in front of them, and sometimes you're gonna be the DJ by pressing play and letting the Spotify just do its thing. But if you're able to meet that pressure head on and you deliver, it's great. The second thing you can expect working at a bar is that the hours are long and irregular. So this job often means taking on a schedule that flips the script on the traditional 9 to 5 that we all know. Bars in the city operate late until the night, and it's really not that unusual to find yourself working until 4 a.m. Like, I get off at 2, so if you work at a club, you're probably not getting home until like 5 or 6, honestly. You're probably gonna be working the weekends, Friday and Saturdays. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you're probably gonna be working the Sundays as well. And let's not forget about those holidays. Christmas, Halloween, Easter, Thanksgiving. You're working all of it, especially if you're the new guy. You don't really have a choice. While working all these days can mean that you're gonna be the one missing out going to your social events, well, on the upside, you get money. This kind of schedule doesn't just require flexibility, it also demands a lot of physical stamina. You'll be on your feet for 10 hours, something like that. I'm on my feet 10 hours when I'm working at the bar. Another thing you can expect bartending in the United States, particularly in New York City, is that tips are a significant part of a bartender's earnings. You see, while the hourly wage may seem low, but the real money is in the tips. And honestly, you can pull in quite a good amount if you're quick with the drinks and you're good with the customers. The better you work, the more money you make. And it's just another part of the gig that just keeps things interesting and rewarding. Just remember, service is king. I know cash is king, but service is a little bit higher than cash. And if the customers are happy, then they're more likely to leave you a generous tip. Hi, Sam.
Hi. Is that on?
Is it on?
Somebody came in.
It is on though. I have some bartender friends and they tell me how much they make. It's like, usually you could probably bring in about like $300 to $400 a night on the weekends, and like just a little bit lower on the weekdays. But there are times you make more money on the weekdays compared to the weekends, just because in the weekdays you have less people on the team to split, compared to like you would have a lot more people on the weekends, because you know it's a lot more busy, so you would need more people on the team, and then you're going to be splitting with everybody depending on how you guys choose to split it. But yeah, it usually varies about like $300-400 to, or like, yeah, or a little lower than that. When you're on the other side of the counter, dining at a restaurant, staying at a hotel, or you know, just getting coffee at a local cafe, you're more likely to remember to leave a tip, and possibly you leave them a generous one as well, because you understand the difference it can make, and both in terms of finances and morale. It's kind of like a bit of an unspoken bond amongst service industry workers. You've been in their shoes and you know the game, you understand and value the work that they do. It's a circle of giving. Hey, Mr. Diego, can we get a chicken sandwich? And the fourth thing you can expect working at a bar is you're gonna be facing a lot of challenging situations. Drunk people saying they've paid, but they didn't because they forgot because they're drunk. Crazy people coming in and doing crazy things because this is New York. And people are crazy, I'm telling you, they're crazy. Cleaning dirty bathrooms, all right? Like people just, you know. I've seen a father and a daughter fighting because of, I think I overheard like she was cutting school or something. She took our sign, our menu, and she broke it on her dad. Like she hit her dad on the head, and the sign broke, and then they both ran out the door, and they didn't even pay their tab. I don't know if they set it up or whatever, but they got away with the bill. I've seen two friends, they come in together, drinking happily together. Like an hour in, they started play fighting, and then they started real fighting, and then one guy got hit so hard, he just fell asleep down there. Like he was out. There was like a whole crowd around this guy, so he was just laying on the floor. We had like 20 people, because it was like an open bar event. After 20 seconds, he got back up, and then he charged at the guy, but that's a different story. Basically, you're gonna be dealing with a lot of bullshit. And if you're a girl, you're gonna get hit on. There's no questions about it, all right? That's just the way it is. And aside from, you know, the people aspect of the job, I don't think making drinks is honestly that hard. It's like if you know how to deal with people, you'll be good, right? And if you know how to stay calm, just observe before you do anything crazy, you'll most likely be good.
This is the best age you can be because you are old enough, but not too old.
And the last and best thing you can expect from bartending is the exciting opportunities that will come across you. You'll meet many interesting characters and just realize how vast the world really is. And maybe it's because I bartend in the heart of the Big Apple, but I've shook many different hands, heard many different stories, and it's made me feel elevated being in this environment. I've gotten job offerings from GMs, from the Virgin Hotel, recruited to a car sales team, literally the VP and the president of a crypto hedge fund company sat by my bar, and we just talked about the future of digital assets together. And after their beer, the president told the VP to give me a copy of their business card. And you know what? That moment was special, because I would have never expected to come across any of these guys if I wasn't expertly positioned as a professional alcohol therapist. You know what I mean? Like, and even though I didn't take these offers, I've learned to speak their language, build rapport, and I still have their contact information if anything goes wrong. And you know what? I was positioned to receive these opportunities, and guess what? You can too. This job, it's more than just a job. It's an experience that can transform you in just many different ways that you might not have even expected. You'll find parts of your personality coming to light that you never even knew existed, and you'll just see your communication skills skyrocket. You're not just serving drinks. Again, you're connecting with people, creating experiences, and making a difference in people's night outs. And that's a powerful thing. And even if you're not even if you're not naturally the most social butterfly, bartending can just be that way to help you break out of your comfort zone. It's daunting at first, but you'll be fine. Over time, you'll find your rhythm, your style, and even your confidence. And before I leave you guys off this video, I just want to give you guys a little reminder that there is no amount of video that you're going to watch that's going to be able to land you that position or sign you up for that course unless you're the one who's actually going to be doing that. But I'm pretty sure you already know that. That's like the most generic advice on YouTube, but I'm just giving you a little reminder, right? You can watch this video 10 times, 100 times, doesn't really matter until you do something about it. And that's really all I have for this video. The video is brought to you by Belcopia. If you're looking for an electric bike, a traditional bike, electric scooter, electric longboard, we got it all in Belcopia. That's my store, so check that out if you are into riding electric. Yeah, that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy watching content like this, give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff you already know. And yeah, peace guys.
27-year-old self, which is, this is the best age you can be because you are old enough, but not too old. Actually, you have like the window has expanded nowadays because I remember thinking like 28, that's like your peak. I realized it's actually like 34. 27, my advice would be, don't be stupid, don't be an asshole. Here's the thing, I used to think that assholes were the people who got everything done. Like, they got everything done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what? Like, Steve Jobs was an asshole. Mark Zuckerberg's an asshole. So, you think those people know everything, and you think that being an asshole is the key to success? No, they knew they had other things going on, but most people who have success are the people who actually treat people with respect. So, and you have no idea the people you're going to meet, who's going to be important or not. Don't underestimate people, don't overestimate people. I remember, like, I overestimated someone, like, they like made all this money in the tech industry, and then I realized, like, they didn't know anything. They just were in the right place at the right time, they made a bunch of money, and they're a millionaire. And there's so many cases of people who, like, were at the right place at the right time, and they made all this money, and you're like, oh, that's what no. That's not what you need to do.
Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole, and if you have a chance to play Illmatic when someone asks you to, if you have to drive across the country, just put Illmatic on like 14 times. It'll make you think about your life.